Hi, Sean again, and this is the first time I rode my bike home from my office's new location at 444 North Michigan Avenue in the Magnificent Mile, there we go. Once again, trying to either confirm or refute the claim made by many cyclists that motor vehicles are far more violatory, I guess, than those of us who ride bikes. Should disclaim, I am not only a cyclist, but also a motorist. Truth is, I seldom drive myself. My wife and I share one vehicle, and actually neither one of us is driving it quite much these days because she's a teacher. She's off for the summer. She usually doesn't need it. Oh, yep, bike riding on the sidewalk. If you're an adult, you should not be riding your bike on the sidewalk. That's for walking. I should have dinged that one cyclist for buzzing right by me without warning. Now, I figured that because a majority of my trip is on the lakefront trail, maybe the results will skew more in favor toward cyclists coming out the victors in terms of fewest violations. Let's see what happens. Well, if you just skipped to the end, you already know what happens. Cheater. I'm always a little bit nervous going down this stretch of Illinois Street because you never know if somebody's going to pop a door open. Never happened to me yet. But we'll see. Don't know if that person was looking for a cab or an Uber or something, or was going to cross without a crosswalk, so because there wasn't a clear indication, I could not ding that pedestrian right there. This is usually a hot spot of cyclists running a red light. Doesn't appear to be happening here, though. I don't know why I'm stopped here. Why I didn't just kind of inch up closer to the light, but whatever. If you hear a noise in the background, I was probably listening to a podcast. Because usually when I'm out on my bike for a while, I'll have usually a podcast playing on a JBL speaker. Now over here it could be a pain in the butt because you have a whole line of traffic of motor vehicles that are going to be trying to make a right turn. So you kind of have to dodge them. Yeah, here's where you're going to see a lot of pedestrian violations. I had to rewatch this scene several times to get a quasi-accurate count. I hope that's correct. Man, that's a lot. Hey folks, you're going against the light. There's clearly a don't walk signal. Okay, it sounds like I'm listening to the 10 Pence Arcade podcast. I recognize Victor Marlin's accent anywhere. Okay, so here's my bike lane. Lately what I've been doing here is making a left turn and just popping out the other end onto the trail rather than go this way. This is a little bit, actually either way is a little bit risky. I guess pick your poison. especially because you have to dodge CTA buses all the time here. You can see the... I'm trying to remember if that was the Centennial or Century wheel, whatever they call it now, or if that's the previous Ferris wheel. I don't remember when the new wheel went up, but obviously that's Navy Pier ahead. Okay, it looks like these pedestrians are going with the walk signal. I'm not sure what the deal is with the ones crossing right there. Oh, red light and a left turn. Brilliant. Left turn out of the far right lane at that, but I think I'm in a left or straight lane at this point. But yeah, this is a really tricky situation to navigate here on Streeter Drive. Trying to squeeze over there. Now what I got to do is pop up onto one of the pathways in that park across the corner. And then it's a shared bike pedestrian path that goes through a park here that will lead me to the lakefront trail. So here I am, just kind of navigating, keeping my distance the best I can. And there's Lake Point Tower, where Oprah never lived, by the way. There was a rumor for a long time that Oprah Winfrey had an apartment there, but no. Her apartment was in the water tower place, actually. Oh, I remember this. Yeah, there was a lot of construction going on here, so it made things a real pain in the butt for everybody trying to navigate here, pedestrians and cyclists. And this was before the Navy Pier flyover was anywhere near finished. I'm wondering if it was even started yet. I remember once when I got on the trail right here, some girl yelled, "Why the fuck are there so many bikes here?" And I yelled back, "Because this is a state-designated bike route," which it is, by the way. Yeah, they're just starting construction on the flyover. You can see that right there. So yeah, now I am officially on the lakefront trail. This was back in 2016, 5 years ago from when I'm narrating this. There were no separate lanes for pedestrians and bikers at this point. Where you see that group of pedestrians and that carriage, where you see those people there, that is now the designated pedestrian side. Like these two lanes over here are now bike only as of 2021, I should say, as of the time I'm talking here. Which is a little bit tricky because you can see that it's kind of on an angle. It's not, experienced cyclists don't find that to be quite an angle, but I do. Even though I am experienced. When I go through this part of the path, I have to tell myself, do not think about the physics or else you're going to fall. Caps. Yeah, people complain about this trail. It's really not that bad, even when it's busy. Especially now that there are separate lanes for pedestrians and for bikes. That helps alleviate a lot of the problem. Even when there are people using the wrong lanes, like bikes in the pedestrian lanes, pedestrians in the bike lanes, it's still a huge improvement in terms of congestion over what it used to be. Oh, and for the record, motor vehicles of any kind are not allowed on these bike trails unless they're official city vehicles. So those of you on those little motorized scooters and those DC Quest for Tire single wheel things that y'all like to ride around on to be quirky, yeah, those aren't allowed on the trail. Don't yell at me for that, I'm just the messenger. the bane of my existence on the lakefront trail, rollerbladers. Because of how they go side to side and sometimes overlap into the other lane. It's just a bitch and a half to try to get around them. I mean, and the big question is, which lane should they be in? Are they pedestrians? Well, no, because they got wheels under their feet, so their feet literally are not on the ground. But they're not cyclists either, so I don't know. Yeah, you're not going to see well, you better not see motorist violations on the lakefront trail. Believe it or not, there have been exceptions. Saw a cab once on the trail. Good Lord. This was right around the time, I don't know if you remember, but a couple of years ago, there was some whack job in New York who plowed into a big group of bikers in a designated bike trail. So I took the video over to the police station, and the guy behind the desk said, yeah, it's probably just some jackass who got lost. I wouldn't worry too much about this. I really hate when people have to walk side by side by side by side like that. What's the point? Just bunch up a little bit closer, people. Come on. I mean, technically they're not doing anything wrong, so, I'm not dinging them for it, but it's still annoying. Makes things difficulter for those around you. It's hard to tell from the view here, but right off to the right of that pedestrian lane, there's a drop of about a foot, maybe more. So you do not want to veer too far to the right around here, or else you're going to get hurt. Yeah. I'll never understand how there are so many people on the trail at 5 p.m. Do that many people either not work or get off work early enough to do that? I'm not talking about people commuting home. I'm talking people who obviously have already been there for a while. I don't remember I don't remember what date this was. Was it July? I mean, if it's July, then yeah, what is it? I think 2% of Chicago's population, teachers, so I can understand that's that many people off work. But I seriously doubt every single one of those people crowding the trails is a teacher. These days, this part here is a bike-only lane. When this video was shot, it was bike and pedestrian, but now, if you're a pedestrian, you should not... if you see this when you're out jogging or walking, you're in the wrong place. Coming up to North Avenue Beach here. Now this is where there is a hotbed of people crossing against the red light. There are actually signs up now saying, "Hey bikers, you're supposed to follow the signal too." I don't know why I violated it here, but it might have been because traffic wasn't going anywhere anyway. Yeah, I stayed put. Okay, now we can go. We can go, people. Come on. And there's some yuts just standing there. Oh, there he goes. Okay, maybe that's why I didn't ding him. This wasn't that much of a yuts after all, I guess. coming up here, this is no longer a bike-friendly lane. In fact, nowadays this is pedestrians only, and there's a separate bike lane closer to Lakeshore Drive, just abutting Lakeshore Drive. So if you are on a bike and you see this nowadays, then folks, you're in the wrong place. You got to go further to the left. Yeah, and don't pass on the right. You're just a douche if you do that. You're even a bigger douche if you don't give a warning. Because the thing is, most of us cyclists are staying as far to the right as we are comfortable being. And we might have to move over further. So stay out, don't pass on the right, pass on the left. And if you're coming close, give a warning. Like that jackass didn't. Man, I really wish they made this the bike lane instead of the pedestrian lane. Lakefront lands. Yep, you see a lot of those. Dude decked all in biker gear, looking like he's in the Tour de France. Just pretending like he's the one and only owner of that trail. Zigzagging all over the place, giving no warnings. And if there's a slight gap of an inch, he's gonna fucking take it. Again, without warning. Now, the thing about the separated pedestrian lane that now exists, around North Avenue Beach, it is poorly labeled. So you're still gonna see some straggling pedestrians in the bike lane, and probably some straggling cyclists in the pedestrian lane. I'm not gonna yell at people for that because the signage is really bad there. There are a lot of places where the lanes separate and the signage is either very confusing or literally non-existent. We're approaching Fullerton here. I like the Fullerton approach because I know that if I need to take a break, it's a good place to take one because there's a lot of wide open space and there is a hella amazing view of the skyline. Good idea to keep a really good camera with you just so you can pull over and take a nice picture. And I think right around here nowadays there's a split. Cyclists go off to the left, pedestrians stay to the right. And if you're lucky, if you're there at night, those lights will actually be on. I'd say there's about a 50% chance they'll be on. Man, divvy bikes suck. You can watch people on these divvy bikes. They're pedaling their asses off in the highest gear, and they're going maybe 4 feet per minute, you know. When I decided to start, they're the lobotomized Buddha heads. When I decided to take up riding a bike, I at first considered the divvy, but then when I realized what a logistical nightmare it would be to rely on divvy, I just decided, screw it, I'll just buy a bike. I'm glad I did. Because getting to a divvy station could be a pain in the butt. Especially if you have to return a divvy bike and there are no slots open. I don't think that's as much of a problem as it used to be when divvy was first introduced in Chicago. Oh, there's a puppy. I love doggies. By the way, ladies, if you happen to have a dog with you and you think I'm gawking at you as I go by you on a bike, it is not you. It is the dog, I assure you. Just don't tell my beagle. She'll get jealous. Man, I can almost feel pain watching this and trying to, well, not trying, but watching cyclists and pedestrians try to coexist here. Thank God they have separate lanes now. Again, even if people aren't keeping strictly to the properly designated lanes, at least the congestion is not as bad as it used to be. Huge difference, actually. Okay, I'm not as close to those guys as I look, by the way. Oh, I think that place is now Urban Juice, but I've never seen it open, ever. I don't know how they make money. If any of you listening, watching, own one of these snack places that's on the lakefront trail, please, for the love of God, keep them open for the evening rush. Sometimes we need that. You'll make some money. Morning rush, too. Oh, I just thanked somebody for something. Sometimes when somebody gives me a warning, hey, I'm coming on your left or whatever, I will thank that person for their courtesy. So that's probably what I just did there. I just have to say, I love me some Lakeshore Drive. It is my favorite road that I've ever been on. Can't beat the views, ever. And I've been on Pacific Coast Highway, so yeah. Just wanted to say that before anybody says, hey, what about Pacific Coast Highway? Yeah, I prefer Lakeshore Drive. Don't get me wrong, I love Pacific Coast Highway and the West Coast in general, but man, I love me Lakeshore Drive. Especially during Bike the Drive, it is so much fun riding on that. I can get from Edgewater to downtown in 20 minutes on Lakeshore Drive. It takes me at least 40 using the lakefront trail, longer if I take Clark Street. Okay, must be approaching Diverse. Oh, no, I must be well past Diversey by now. Duh. Yeah, because I think I'm even past... yeah, okay, yeah, here's Recreation Drive, which is well past Belmont. So I'm roughly at Addison. Pardon my hiccup there. Man, my back hurts every time I see somebody on a bike not wearing a shirt. Because, man, if you wipe out, whoo. Right around here, where the pedestrian and bike split now is, it is a pain in the butt to navigate. Because they actually have to, the lanes actually have to cross over into each other. And that's a pretty dangerous potential. I don't know if there's any other way they could have done it. I really don't. Maybe there is. I just don't know. Man, the more I'm watching this, the more thankful I am for how the the Lakefront Trail is now. It's not perfect, but it's a hell of a lot better than it was when this video was shot. It's an improvement. It still has a lot of problems, but by far not as many as it used to. Oh, I should have dinged that guy. Pardon me, I'm important. I'm going to zigzag around you and almost bump you off without even giving you a courtesy warning. Man, when I see those playgrounds, I'm glad that I was a kid when I was a kid. When slides were taller than people.
He's beaten the previous score from I'm not sure how to pronounce that, of 1.6 million.
Okay, I think I just passed Lakeshore Drive, and there's a golf course to the right. I've never been hit with a golf ball, nor have I ever seen one land on the trail here. Now, I'm not a golfer at all. I do not like golf. I like miniature golf, though. I love miniature golf. But when I was when I was riding my bike past here once, I actually heard somebody yell, "4!" I didn't know that was a thing. I thought that was just made up for cartoons. You might have noticed that little purple and white dot. Oh, there it is again. That's just how the sun's hitting my camera. It's just a side effect there. Yeah, the camera is a Ion. What the heck is it? It's one of those like cheapo Ions. I think I paid like $25 for it. I wasn't gonna pay like what $300, $400 for one of those GoPros. Don't need that. You can see how clear the Ion is. It can read license plates. Don't need anything fancy. Ion Air Pro 2, I think. Is that what it was? I don't know. I have a couple of those, actually. One I keep on my handlebars, and another I keep in my bag in case of emergency, or case like the other one just stops working, like it runs out of space on the card, or battery runs out or something. I just pop the other one out of the bag and flip it on. Oh, and I don't think you can go off there anymore on a bike. think that's now pedestrian only. Which is a pain when I'm biking, say, from work to the dock, which is a great restaurant you should go to. Oh man, I hope they brought back the turkey burger. They didn't have that during the brief time they reopened last year during the pandemic. And they did not have it the 2 or 3 times I've been there this year so far. But there are very few places ever where I've had a decent turkey burger, and the dock was one of them.
I've got some stats here that you posted on
Because they actually season the turkey very well.
Right, total playtime 7 hours 21 minutes. 556 waves.
The other place I had a decent turkey burger in the city was, I think it's called Fireplace Grill. It's on, I think it's on Wells in Old Town. Great turkey burger, but the place is noisy as all hell. If you want to have a conversation with somebody, you got to scream at the top of your lungs. The only other place I had a good turkey burger was Gordon Ramsay Burger in Vegas. Oh my God, there's going to be one in Chicago now. Oh my God. Yeah, you got to go to Gordon Ramsay Burger. Best burgers I ever had, ever. But last time I went to Gordon Ramsay Burger in Vegas, I had the Patriot Burger, which was a turkey burger with cherry compost, I think. Yeah, I call it compost because it's a funny word. So, and I forgot what the blue thing. There was something blue involved. I don't remember what though. I call it Patriot because it was it had the cherry compost, which is red, and the turkey, which is white. I don't remember what the blue thing was, but it was so good. Oh my goodness. Last I checked, the Patriot Burger was not on the menu in Vegas, unfortunately. And let me tell you something. Gordon Ramsay screams like a mofo, but number one, the dude has many Michelin stars. He knows what he's talking about. And number two, I have a feeling most of that screaming is at the request of the Fox network. Because if you watch his shows that he does in England, he hardly ever raises his voice. He'll be exasperated, but he won't scream like a maniac like he does on, say, Hell's Kitchen and Monster Chef. And there's that purple dot again. Oh, nowadays this is not the bike. What am I? Oh, that's right. Yeah, in this video I'm not taking the entire trail. I usually do, because I live very close to where the trail begins and ends. I think I must have been meeting my wife for dinner in Andersonville. That must be why I got off on Lawrence. Oh man, did I just see somebody take a bike on the sidewalk? And I missed it?
Maybe when he gets to World Rugby, we'll let him off something. You gotta let him off.
Yeah, we'll let it slide.
There's A-list classics.
Let's see if it makes a difference in the end anyway.
I can't get 20,000.
Maybe it will.
I have done before once, but two.
Waiting for the red light.
It sounds like he sort of gave up on.
Oh, we got some people crossing against the light here.
Yeah. Oh my lord, so we could have gone further. Yeah, it just started. What a in the audio, he needed the toilet, so. He was playing for like.
Did I get all of them? I don't know. Here we go. Man, look at that flicker. I'm going to use those stripes as kind of a pseudo bike lane.
It's weird. It's weird. Instead of scrolling left to right, it's all the same mechanics.
Generally, I've found Lawrence to be pretty comfortable when cycling. It doesn't have a protected lane, but it's still nice and wide, and there is a painted bike lane, which I found people generally respect. The problem is, if just one person doesn't respect it, you could be in for a lot of trouble. Lives have been lost over that, which is why we need to get some more protected bike lanes in the city. And here we are approaching Broadway. Or is that Sheridan? No, that's Sheridan. That's Sheridan, yeah. Duh. Yeah, Broadway is past the Aragon Brawl Room, which we will be coming up to very soon.
Sunday, 10:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. RGP, Northern Lights Pinball, Benji Love, Metacortex, and Nat Retro Game Shop are all partnering now.
Oh, there's a doggy.
So you know it's back to back, so it's top people. The event will have roughly 100 arcade games, 60 pinballs, and 60 consoles. There are going to be cosplay competitions on both days, £100 on Saturday, and an under 14s boy £100 on Sunday. There is also a raffle this year. It is anybody bright red blood cancer charity. First prize is 2 for and the game fund. Tickets will be at Candy. You can also be purchased online after the event. Info will be posted on the website and
Yeah, I wouldn't ding a car if the car was stopped at the blocking the crosswalk because there was a sudden stop. But the fact is, there was plenty of space in front of that car for that car to move up. So yeah, don't block the freaking crosswalk. Came to a stop, and there's the Aragon Brawl Room. This is a really shady looking area here, this part over here by the red line up to Broadway. But the many times I've been here, even on foot, nobody's ever hassled me. And the famous Green Mill. I have never been there. I've lived in the city 15 years, and I've never been to the Green Mill. I should say, yet.
Oh yes. Do you know what guests they've got at the moment?
I hope yet. There we go. See if I can avoid that pothole. Okay, it sounds like I did. I don't think I ever got anything from Broadway Grill. I might should check them out. It looks like somebody was in town for something here. I don't know what. Yeah, I did see a pedestrian kind of hovering around in the bike lane, but there might have been a reason, so I'll give her the benefit of the doubt. I couldn't see the sidewalk. For all I know, that sidewalk might have been blocked off. Gotta be careful, make sure nobody's gonna open a door into me. Is this road angled upward? Actually, it might be, because if you go east off of a street that Clark Street intersects, there is an angle down, at least in Andersonville. But this is uptown, not Andersonville, so I don't know. It sure looks like it's angled uphill. Might just be the camera or my angle or something, I don't know. Yeah, I should have stopped before I turned. Well, then again, for all I know, maybe the light turned green before I turned and the camera just didn't. Well, you know what? Screw it. Hey, I'm just as responsible as anybody else is. I'm probably gonna, yeah, I'm getting over in that parking lane just to be as far to the right as I possibly can be. Just to be safe. Give myself and everybody else room. I'm sure that I looked, oh, these assholes. Oh. Dirtbags. Lincoln Park Pirates. I must have flipped the bird and somebody got in the crossfire. I said, it wasn't meant for you. Oh, yeah, the friggin' cab parking with the wheel going into the traffic lane. Good grief. You know what I love? I love seeing taxi cabs being pulled over by cops. I love it. Because at least here, well, here and New York, I can tell you for a fact, cab drivers drive for shit. I would much rather take a Uber or Lyft than a taxi cab. They're a bunch of shysters, too. Okay, looks like that car was trying to avoid me. I do appreciate that. I don't want you to get all the way over and possibly cause any other interruptions, but yeah, I appreciate that. I think that car was trying to get out, so that's why I didn't count it. Dang it. I don't know what the rule is about bikes being ridden in the crosswalk. I guess I should look that up. So I didn't ding that person for riding a bike in the crosswalk. Usually I don't ride a bike in the crosswalk. If I have to go through the crosswalk with my bike, I'll hop off and walk. Just to be safe. And also because I expect there are going to be some pedestrians there, so I just want to be as safe, as careful as humanly possible. I don't care what anybody says, I loved it when Giordano's moved in. Screw all of you. Didn't really need one. The one in Rogers Park and the one in Lincoln Square, they both deliver to Andersonville, so... I don't think I've ever been to Andy's in 15 years of living in Edgewater. Reese's I've been to many times. Love their buffet. It's not the most amazing food in the world, but it's really good. Oh, the hardware store. Oh, that was a nice little business there. The owner's retired. Siles. Oh, the Swedish bakery. I never got anything from there. I think they retired too. I think that's why they closed down. Oh, and Hamburger Mary's. I hope they do open up. I hope they do reopen. From what I understand, they were having some major issues with the landlord, and they decided to close down. But then when the pandemic happened, they decided, okay, let's close down sooner than we originally planned. Okay, I guess I was going to meet my wife at, what's that New Orleans place? But anyway, this time, pedestrians were the biggest violators, and motorists actually win in terms of fewest violations. So that's the score out of 5 videos posted so far. Bye-bye.